Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4 and we are back in our Newcrest Suburban save. So yeah, this is number 4 of 5, so we are so nearly done with this, which I've got to be fair, we need to be. This has taken a while to do 4 builds essentially. I was kind of estimating to be able to do this really quickly, but other things have happened, and I've had lots of sort of other inspiration, and yeah, it's just taken a while to get to this point and even sort of longer point because we still have one more to go in here. But this whole sort of neighbourhood is coming together really well. So you'll sort of see the other builds in the background. I'm trying to get them to be as kind of the same as I possibly can, but each sort of with their own personality, each with their own kind of like their own builds in there. So you don't need to have all of them. You can just download each individual build as you like. The other 3 are available on my gallery, and this one is coming up as well, so you can definitely check that one out into there. But yeah, this ends up being a 3-bedroom family home. So we have a toddler and an infant, which I've got to be fair makes it so much easier because I have one of each. I don't have to forget or pretend I have a different child in here. Anyone who doesn't know, I often get them mixed up. I tend to just build for toddlers and then it turns out I hate infants, or vice versa. Yeah, it's something I've been doing basically since infants came out. But now I have one of each, so it is perfect into here. But I thought this would fit in with this sort of neighbourhood really well because a lot of the other families that we've got in here are children, they're teenagers, and things like that. So I thought a really nice young family with some little ones in here would be perfect. I think we do also have one toddler in this sort of collection before, but yeah, why not have some more into here as well. Now this one we have slightly changed it up a little bit. We have gone for this sort of lighter wooden kind of decoration on the front. You'll also see I place some shutters on these windows in that sort of light swatch. I do actually come through and change that. It just wasn't feeling very right for me. I also changed the door here into the black and white, and I think the only thing we actually keep is the columns, simply because they work a little bit better and they were also from the reference image. The reference image didn't have shutters, but this build just feels a little bit empty. It just felt like there was not enough detail on the exterior for kind of what I really wanted this sort of build to look like. So I've placed in some shutters here. I've also placed drain pipes and other bits and pieces and columns everywhere just to make it feel a little bit more detailed and things like that. And there you can see I have now changed the colours back to the black and white, which we have pretty much on all of them, because what I was thinking for this whole sort of neighbourhood is that they were done by the same like property developer, housing developer, whatever you want to call them, and they were all put in at like the same time, and they all are slightly different, but they all look the same. Like you can sort of tell, like, you know, like when you're just driving around and you can tell that someone has purchased a whole row of sort of street and they've just built the same sort of house but slightly different. That's kind of what I wanted in here, for each of them to have their own different personality but still be kind of uniformed in there as well. So that's basically what I was going for in here. One thing, I've used this railing in here which has got the little fairy lights wrapped around it. I think it's really cute, and we don't really have like a really simple kind of metal fence like that without the lights on, but we don't have a banister rail in that colour, so I've had to kind of use a different one. I think it's like a bit more of a meshy one. Is that an issue, or is somebody just forgotten to add a banister in here. I don't know. But talking of things that we're getting, we have some more leaks. I mean, this is The Sims, so we are going to have leaks. This game is so kind of... Well, we get leaks quite a lot, but now we know the next roadmap, and we also have the next expansion pack. I was not really thinking we were going to get another expansion pack this year. I thought maybe it would just be like a game pack, just to kind of round out the year. We haven't had a game pack in a while, so I kind of figured that we would sort of do one. But yeah, no, we have an expansion pack. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think that there's lots of kind of, oh, it's going to be a vacation world, it's going to be lots of this and that, and I really don't know, I've got to be honest. I want hotels. I don't think this is going to be the pack that gives us those. It feels like this is very much a kind of outdoor nature, kind of summer camp kind of build or pack. So I'm not really sure if that's really the winter pack. Like, it should have maybe come out in like June or something, when more like summer camps are going on. I don't know whether it's just been flipped around for some reason, and that's why we got Enchanted by Nature in the summer. I don't know. Obviously, it is a leak. Nothing has been confirmed as of yet. We will have to wait and see. But obviously, I'm excited for new content. I just don't think it's the right time of the year for this kind of pack. But yeah, that's where we are. And there, we also know we're going to get an autumn apparels kit. I haven't got any of the Kaz kits in game at all. So I'm thinking it's going to be a Kaz kit, which I'm a bit like, oh. But if it's like jumpers, kind of really nice cozy kind of wear, I think I'm a little bit more down for, because we kind of autumn is my favourite time of the year, so I'm looking forward to sort of that and what we can sort of get into there. But I don't know. And we also have 5 other kits coming, which seems like a lot in one go, I've got to be honest. Normally we get like 2 at a time, which I think is a really nice sort of break, because normally one of them is Kaz, one of them is sort of built by that sort of thing, but 5 in one go, I'm a bit like, we'll have to see. As I say, it is only a leak, nothing has been confirmed, we will have to wait and see. But let me know down in the comments what you think of that. I have been full on waffling throughout the whole beginning of this video. So, what have we done so far? We have got the nice little planting at the entranceway here, and now we're working on this sort of front step kind of area into here, and we have also done the whole back garden. So I wanted some kids activities outside, so that's why we've got in the little slide set, and we've also got the little toddler paddling pool thing. I thought they were just really nice little features in there, just kind of something for the kids to do outdoors, well, the little ones outside into there. Also got in a planters for the sort of parents, and when I have play tested this, I have put in, I think it's fruit and vegetables, I think one's fruit, one's vegetables in there, so they are all planted up with like carrots and grapes and tomatoes and stuff. So that's all going into there, and then I've just done my standard sort of big fence going along the back in there, and then the hedges in there. But here is the floor plan. Oh boy, this was a bit of a nightmare. I've got to be honest. I created a bit of a box with some pop-outs, which is fine. That's kind of really what I wanted for this sort of build. But it made the floor plan really, really awkward in here, and you'll sort of see I struggled a little bit. So the kitchen diner is onto the right hand side here, and then the living room is off of that. Now we're using the new mudroom kit. I love this kit. It does make this build a little bit dark because I use it here in the entranceway for the most part, and then I think we use this soft wood, which works perfectly with this sort of flooring, and it just adds a really nice pop to the rest of this because it is quite a dark build. We've kind of kept that sort of black and kind of soft wood throughout this build. But here you can see I am coming in with all of the items from this new pack, and yeah, I have a few little issues, I guess we can say, but then this is me who doesn't have issues. I always tend to find something. The shoes, you're gonna see I pulled them out here in a minute, and they are ridiculously large. Like, look at those boots. Even the shoes are way too big. I think I actually scaled them down in the end because it just feels overly large. And I think I did this off camera, or I might have cut it from the video. I pulled out the shoes we got from Dream Home Decorator, and these ones are like twice the size of the shoes we originally got. And so yeah, there's that. But I really wanted this nice sort of entranceway in here with lots of sort of bits and pieces, seating area here. Maybe it could be like a sort of place where the kids go down to put their shoes, their coats, maybe they're like little backpacks for nursery, that sort of thing into there. And one thing I didn't realise at this point is that though the big full length ones are actually wardrobes. So yeah, that was a really nice surprise. I didn't actually find that out until the next build, which you're going to see next week. So yeah, I am way ahead of schedule, but here we are working on the kitchen into here. Now this was a really weird space as well. I think this build, it's not small, but it's not large. It's one of those where I have lots of room to do lots of stuff, but it's not overly large that I have so many rooms where I need to have a library or a games room or something. That there's no need for any of that. It's not that size. So yeah, it proved a little bit problematic in there for me, but anyway, yeah, following the colours scheme that we are sort of using into here. And I love this new fridge with all of the sort of details on the back, on the front of it. And yeah, it just adds again that little family sort of gameplay of a cluttered kind of kitchen into here, with lots of kids doing sort of different activities and things like that as well. And we bring out my favourite kit pretty much of all time, the kitchen clutter, where I go a little bit mad and I use it absolutely everywhere, as you well know. It's one of those packs or one of those kits where it can literally work anywhere, and it really does. So it was used in my sort of last build, the Newington estate. It was put in here, it's put into modern builds, old builds. It fits pretty much everywhere. So yeah, if you're looking for a kit, this is definitely one that I would buy out of like all of them, and we have so many. But yeah, this is pretty much the kitchen now all done. I do change up the flooring a little bit there because the tiled floor was just a little bit too sharp into there. But now we're working on this other section in here of the dining room. Now I said this was quite big. We end up getting a 6-seater table in here with plenty of space all around it. Yeah, you see I had to scale up that plant. So I said earlier that the shoes were too big. This plant is too small. It's a bit iffy. I don't quite understand why some items are so big and some are so small. But anyway, it is a gorgeous kit and I love it. And yeah, I feel like it's one of those that again is going to go into quite a few builds where I can get that in there. Right, moving on, we now have this little bar over here. I think this is actually from the party kit. Again, one I don't really use, but yeah, I thought a nice little bar over here, and I had a bit of wall and nothing in there. So maybe this is like the go-to family home for like the extended kind of family in here, of like if you're having a barbecue, if you're gonna have like a party or something, this is the house that kind of has it all into there. And now we're getting this little laundry room in here, again using the new items. So we've got the washing machine and then the two sort of full length sort of cabinets in here and the dresser. And basically if you don't have this kit, this room is just going to be like 5 items from the laundry day in here as well. But yeah, we get this all in and really nicely sort of decorated. It's just off the kitchen, so I thought a nice little sort of utility room in here, just sort of tucked away out of the sort of, it's there but it's not necessarily so in your face into here. And then I do also have a downstairs loo. This just has a sink and a toilet in here. We don't really get too much more detail in here, but I feel like if you've got guests coming over, you don't really want to send them up to the upstairs toilets or bathrooms. We can just send them into here, and I thought that would be the perfect sort of place for them. At the front here, you have these really big windows that show a lot of light coming through here, so might not be very private, but I do get big shutters, sort of blinds to come through here as well. But yes, so I'm actually using my go-to kind of bathroom clutter for things in there, and now we're going to jump over to the other side where we do the living room. Now this was a big space. Now we were kind of having that blue kind of coming through here, where both of the children are both boys, so not necessarily stereotypically, but both their bedrooms are blue, and I figured we could kind of create a really nice sort of blue kind of living space in here. We've also used the blue in things like the cabinets and things like that as well, in the entranceway, mudrooms and stuff like that. And this blue sofa from another one of the kids actually, I think works in here really, really well, and it just adds that nice touch of colour coming through all of it. And I do try, especially with my kind of suburban kind of homes that are a bit smaller, to kind of like pick another colour and kind of just run with it. So you often sort of see that we use a lot of red, lots of greens, blues, and things like that as just one of our sort of add-on colours for a lot of bits and pieces into there. But yeah, using up this, I think it's actually another coffee table. We're using it more of a side table over here, because it just feels a little bit more side table-ish than anything else into here. And just putting a few bits and sort of games and things like that and books underneath it. I feel like maybe this is a couple who kind of met at like a board game club, or maybe they're like were at school together and they've kind of found this love of sort of board games or something, and they sit down together once the kids are asleep and have a game or something like that. I thought that just a little nice little touch in there, a nice little added bit over there. And now we have created a little kids corner where they have all of their kind of toys and bits and pieces and some of their kind of artwork on the wall over there. We didn't really have too much space for an actual kind of dedicated area, so I feel like when you have small kids, the whole house kind of gets taken over with bits and pieces. So we've got a teddy on the sofa, we've got some more toys over in this sort of corner over here. I was looking at putting in one of the bigger sort of toys in this corner, but then thought they are still a toddler and an infant, they don't really need it, and I thought a nice little desk in here would work a little bit better, because it's also maybe the mum works from home or is like working part-time or something like that while the little ones are still so little. And I just thought a really nice sort of simple desk set up in the corner here, because the kids can play in the background while she is working in here. And now we're going to jump up to the upstairs. So again, using this item from the new kit, and the mirror. I absolutely love the mirror. I feel like that is going to be one of the items that is everywhere, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, this has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms up here. So the bathrooms I do off camera as per usual, because otherwise they are way too long in here. I've managed to condense this down to not too long of a video for you all into here, but now we're going to work over on the main parents' bedroom. So this goes basically full length of the build, and creates a really nice sort of private sort of space. So we get in the bed in one corner, we can also get in a little seating area, a little sort of grown-up sort of space where you can just, at the end of the day, shut the door and recharge and things like that. And we also get in these new flower kind of lights. I wanted a detail above the bed, and I thought these looked really cool in there. I was going to put all 4 of them, but there only seems to be 3 I thought that I could find anyway. Maybe one's buried in a swatch, but yeah, I really like that sort of. It kind of looks like cherry blossom kind of flowers. So I thought it was a nice little touch, and especially if they do sort of light up a little bit more pink in there, they would be cool. And now we've got in some shoes, a wardrobe, and just a few other bits and pieces, decorations in here. And yeah, some curtains coming into there, and then this little seating area, kind of privacy little area in here for maybe watching a show or something when the kids are at bed, and you kind of want to be close but not too close in there. I do end up just getting rid of the little armchair and putting in this 2-seater sofa in there, which actually matches the ones downstairs, just the colour's slightly different. So I figured they would probably got like a deal or something, and they thought, well, you know, we couldn't have it up in our room sort of thing, and that's what they've done with it, into here with a small TV. And I have also placed a little speaker in there that I'm kind of pretending is like a sort of a kid's sort of like TV, kind of the little CCTV monitors that you get for the little ones into here. So this is now the toddler bedroom in here, which we don't really have many wardrobe wallpapers for. I kind of struggle when it comes, because I tend to go for like a theme, and for this one I really wanted like a fish kind of theme in here, but the curtains don't really match, and then I couldn't really, I had a bit of difficulty, let's put it that way. So we ended up getting rid of that, and yeah, going for this really nice pale blue bed in here. And yeah, so there is no potty. I think in one of the bathrooms there's a potty, but not in the other one, but I do have one up in this toddler room as well. So there is sort of plenty up there, but none downstairs, which you may want to put one in downstairs just for the sake of, you don't want to have to carry a toddler upstairs if they can't master the stairs yet, because that's like a milestone that they have to unlock into there. But yeah, getting in lots of toys, lots of decorations, and then we eventually get in these stickers in here, which I think kind of work a little bit better than the sort of decorations or wallpaper that I was going to put in here as well. And then a little teddy on a raft, because I thought that was kind of cute into here. And now we're working on the last bedroom, which is for the infant, which I've kind of gone for a bit of a green kind of feel in here. I thought we've done quite a lot of blue, let's mix it up a little bit in here and kind of make this a little bit more neutral, I guess, in here, which I absolutely love. This kind of soft, kind of greeny, kind of more, yeah, more soft kind of colour rather than some of the harsher blues we've got elsewhere into here. And I think this bedroom in here is gorgeous. And we're getting a little rocking chair in here. I feel like a little feeding chair or something like that would work in here really well. And then some white curtains, again, just to sort of neutralise all of this. I have come through and changed all of the lighting from these giant big saucers down into some smaller different lights, just so that they're not so bright and in the way everywhere else. But we're coming to the end of this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please give a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Or you can find me on pretty much all social medias. The links are in my link tree down below. But until next time, bye everyone!